Okay, just going to give you a quick underside shot of the car since it's up on the lift right now. I was proposing to you to put new control arms like tubular, or we can do factory, but the tubular ones, as well as a coilover shock in this place, so that way we can adjust ride height. But you'll notice all the rust, all the bushings are wore out, so really what we need is sway bars. You know, we'll go a larger sway bar, new end link bushings, or sorry, pivot bushings and end link bushings. Do a coilover style shock that's adjustable, so we change ride height. Go ahead and change the lower control arms. You'll see that there's a little bit of surface rust on the frame. That's okie doke. Usually what we're going to do is just come in here, pressure wash it, lightly scuff it up, and shoot it just with flat black paint, just to clean the engine area up. And I'll show you from the top side what it looks like. But overall, I mean, everything looks good, but as you will notice, you've got drum brakes, look pretty rough. You know, stuff's just kind of falling apart. I would definitely put disc on the front. So I propose basically just a freshen up of the front suspension, front brakes. Underside of the car is not too bad. There's some spots of rot. I've seen a lot worse. I just want to make you aware of it. Obviously, this is the bottom side of the firewall and trans tunnel. Once again, when we clean this dirt, most of that dirt will come off of there, and then we'll just hit it with some flat black paint just to make it look a little better. I would also do the steering rods. Some of the boots are ripped. These are greasable joints, but I would go ahead. We can keep this drag link, but do new tie rod ends. So you got good handling, good braking and steering. The box, you'll see the power steering gearbox is leaking. I don't know that you really want to step up and replace that. It may have been just a line. It's pretty hard to tell, but you'll see it's pretty wet. So if you notice that you still have a leak, you may have to change this in the future if you don't want to change it right now. And probably when you change the box, we'll go ahead and change this rag joint here, just so that way it's a little stiffer. The floor pan on the driver's side is fully intact. Got some little spots in it, little holes, but on the passenger side here, there is a pan been put in. You can see where they cut it out. This is okay. I mean, you know, we're gonna get quite a bit more extensive if we get into replacing that. I would suggest just leaving it alone. The rest of the under the side of the car is pretty solid. The exhaust is, you know, decent. It's clean. We'll just kind of scuff it up and clean it up a little bit for you. Now, the body bushings, the reason I'm mentioning body bushings, obviously the body's not even being held on there right now. I think this side's just as bad. It's not quite as loose, but definitely need new body bushings. Little bit of rot up here. Again, pretty normal. This car was from up north, so this will at least give you some sort of idea of the condition of what you should expect when you get it. Last but not least, we got the fuel tank out. Trunk pan looks good. The shackle bushings are dry rotted, and the leaf spring is old. I mean, I guarantee this is factory. So I would propose a single mono leaf, new shocks, get rid of these air shocks. We'll have the coilovers in the front, of course, and a cow track, which is basically a unit that bolts on the bottom and follows the leaf spring up to the front leaf spring pad. And what you want to do there is basically have that traction bar in there so we don't get the rear end hopping up and down. It looks like they've welded this. I'm going to assume that that was positioned correctly and leave it alone. You do have the option to do discs in the rear if we're already going that far, but you may want to just go ahead and put, we'll get the wheel off and check it, but you may want to put just new brake pads and brake shoes or not rotors, sorry, drums in the rear. So again, the exhaust doesn't look too bad. Probably just leave that alone, and we'll drop the car down and I'll show you the rest. By the way, too, you'll see that that's your speedometer cable melted on the exhaust, so we do need a new speedometer cable. Car's in pretty good shape. You see it's pretty straight. That's why I'm not too overly worried about it. I mean, you got some little nicks and stuff and scratches. That's the way the car came to us. You know, we'll hit it, clean it up, and, you know, throw the buffer to it to try and clean it up for you a little bit more. But the battery tray is really not too awful rusty, just kind of looks that way. We'll just blow and clean all that off and paint it. So you'll notice it's flat black here. It's been painted a few times because you can see it's got runs in it. But as far as the eye can see, honestly, just cleaning it, scuffing it up real quick, new control arms and front suspension, and we'll have a nice canvas to put the beautiful motor in. We even paint the firewall. There's very little wiring work to be done. It's not too chopped up. You'll see some butt connectors in that area there. We'll definitely clean up this wiring just a touch. See, as you see, wire nuts, just poorly done. You know, so, and from the top side you do see this power steering gearbox. It's got some fluid on it. It looks like a lot of it probably leaked out of the fittings, so I'm gonna hope that that's the case. But that's your car. That's my proposition to you. Here's the interior. Interior's not bad, but you will see the dash. See, the dashboard's cracked. I don't know if you want to order one and then send it with the car, but overall the rest of the interior is in really nice shape. So that's really good. That's a good start. And just to give you an idea, of course, there's the old motor. Please let me know what you want to do with that. And here's the new motor here, as you've seen it on the dyno previously. But that is your new engine going in that car. So beautiful piece. Tranny's still in the box. So once again, your car, please. There's a mean beast there, but hopefully you understand where I'm going with this, and I'll get you a price. Just let me know what you want to do. Thanks again, sir.